This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, my good friends, my sim racing competitors, are the real star of today's show. And welcome to today's Hump Day edition of the Pit Stop. I hope you're all having a great week. I'm having a good week so far, getting a lot of things done. Before we get to the news, a couple things I want to address. Number one, Twitch. I made big promises to Twitch. It was based on certain factors, like being able to find a wheel and a mount. And it turns out that I ran into a couple issues. So what I'm referring to is the Simu Cube 2. I thought I was getting the base model. Turns out I got the Pro model. Very excited about that. So we've got a beast of a wheel, like 25 Newton meters, a big honking wheel. And I do have a wheel solution thanks to Ricmotech for going on to their quick release, no problem. But I didn't have a mount. They thought I had a mount, and I do have a mount for my Leo Bonner, but it uses different spacing. So Derek Spear to the rescue. Derek Spear is sending me a mount, and we should get that up and running towards the end of the week, I'm hoping. And once we do, we'll be very active on Twitch. I think once we have a product in-house for testing or a DIY project, you're going to find a lot more frequency on Twitch. So it did allow me to get ahead of a couple things, a couple stories that I'm writing, a couple other pieces that I'm working on in the background. So, again, we have cool things going on. Having a great week so far, getting a lot of stuff done. Even got over some writing block and did a little writing marathon. Very proud of myself for doing that. So, yeah, all is well. How are you guys doing? What are you up to? What's going on in sim racing that you think we should all talk about? I noticed I have the big line. I can't relax my forehead for some reason. I'm not sure why. But yeah, what is going on? What are you guys up to? We did get a few pit crew members did send me some things today, so I'm very proud of, I'll give some credit now and I'll show you later, but John Zachary sent in a picture of his rig. Thank you, John, for that. We'll see it at the end of the show. Tim Chitwood sent in some results that I didn't get and some trophies that he obtained, so I'm going to show that at the end of the show. Thank you to both of you guys for sending that in. It really helps the show. Like I say, you guys, my friends, my competitors in the sim racing world, my buddies who I hang out and race with and talk sim racing with, you are the real star of today's show. So on with the news. What's going on? Speaking of friends of the show, Mitchell deJong, who I've met, when I call Mitchell a friend, I've met Mitchell or hung out with Mitchell probably 10 different times. Admittedly, 10 of the 10 times were at CXE with some event going on, like the Race of Champions that iRacing used to do, or Mitchell just coming in and doing some driving, usually coming with his father. Anyway, really, really good kid. He's raced professionally in the real-life American Rallycross Championship. Obviously, he is a champion in the Rallycross world of iRacing, and he finished second in the World Driving Championships, the road side of things in iRacing. So one of the most accomplished sim racers on earth, but he'd been away from the winning board. The guy was unbeatable for many events. I mean, I don't know, like, you could have, like, given trophies to people who literally beat Mitchell in Rallycross in Season 1. And so as of now, he finally got back to the victory lane. Mitchell deJong triumphs and returned to Thrustmaster IRX World Championship in Phoenix. So congratulations to him. Christian and I have one tiny little news or story from SEMA. I'm not at SEMA this year. SEMA is one of those shows, it seems that every other year I end up at SEMA. This year I'm not at SEMA, obviously. I'm here. So, but I do have one tiny story from Thrustmaster. They like to show up there with equipment and do things there. So maybe we'll get more news of SEMA as the week goes on as well. Things happen fast in racing, I'll tell you. So it was just yesterday that we crowned our champion in the late model side of things. And so Alex Bergeron is now already seeing real life opportunities. So this is retweeted by World of Outlaws late model. Things are getting started a little earlier at the dirt track this morning as the 2019 iRacing World of Outlaws at Morton Buildings late model world champion Blake Majolis gets set to turn some laps with Boyer Dirt Team owner Clint Boyer. Wait, that's not the one I wanted to read you. I'm sorry. Whoops. Here we go. First up, Seabell Racing makes a few hot laps in the sprint car before handing it over to iRacing champion Alex Bergeron. So I believe this is actually a shot of Alex, I think. I'm not sure 100% if that's Bell or Bergeron, but World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series iRacing champion Alex Bergeron gets a few tips from Seabell Racing before he gets to drive a sprint car himself on the dirt track. And there you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool opportunity for this guy. I guess he wasn't just doing a little. We talked about the other prize. I don't even think this is the prize we were talking about. This is badass. This is super badass. Yes, I have that Pro Sim. I have that for today's show as well. Yeah, race line 44. That that was Bell on the track. Thank you, Billy. What are you saying? That just looked too smooth for SimRacer in his first attempts. Anyway, the race line brings up a very relevant point. I've seen a dozen different car picks from SEMA at this point, and 10 of 10 were electric cars. I've seen a ton of like old Mustangs, old Chevy trucks, all of those kind of cars converted to electric, which, by the way, I'm just going to go on the record and saying, as much as I love old cars, remember they used to call things like lead sled? Old cars are really freaking heavy. It's maybe not the most efficient platform for an electric vehicle. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to build an electric car, part of that is being somewhat modern. I'm not sure that's the best retrofit in the world. But anyway, that's what we're seeing at SEMA. It is a changing the times. And I think everybody really has to take note of Raceline 44's second comment there, which is petrol heads are a dying breed now. The youth of today could care less about displacement. You know, it just, they don't care about gas burning engines, the sound of a Ferrari, the sound of a Porsche, the sound of a Chevy V8. These things do not send chills up their spine like they do to you, me, and the rest of the people who do love this stuff that we do. There are a lot of things in life. If you think, you know, we could talk about music, and, you know, back in the day, at some point, classical or opera was like the music. That's what everybody listened to. And then over time, it transitioned to other forms of genres of music. And at some point, the people that were diehard fans of classical and opera, they're dying off. And so you get fewer and fewer people. And certain industries will do this when they, you know, fall out of fashion. And maybe something that was very collectible even might lose its collectability if the entire audience looking for it disappears. I think it's easy to say that the last of the Mohicans, the last of the true racing fans has already been born, and that we are going to be in a decline, or I dare say a transition to other forms of racing. I think that's a very fair statement. You know, yesterday we brought up Penske buying Indy, the racing IndyCar racing series and the track, and we talked. And just to clarify, I threw out just some generic comments about it, inspiring you guys to talk about it. I actually think it's probably good for the sport. I think Penske's a true competitor, and I think he wants to win on those merits, not on some bought advantage beyond just having a well, you know, finance team. For me, the real difference in that equation would be, what does Chip Ganassi say? If Chip Ganassi, who I believe they're really good competitors with each other, if Chip Ganassi says thumbs up, I just think it's going to be great for the series. I think Penske has a much better run company than the Holman Group. I think their opportunities to not just advertising and sponsorship, but just even coordinating things with other racing series and tracks, I think it'll go a real long way. But I do think that we are on the brink of the end of the era. It's coming. It's coming. I hate to say it. I might see it in my lifetime where gas-powered... I mean, if Europe is going... Isn't Europe going all electric by a certain year? I'm assuming eventually other nations will follow, or other regions of the world. If there are no gas cars, how much longer does gas racing go on? Anyway, it could be, but when these things happen, let's just keep one thing in mind. that old joke, when did racing begin? When the second car was invented, right? I mean, if you're talking auto racing. Now, Brad, thank you. So, exactly, the Holman Group is who were responsible for the IRL debacle, which I still think has had an impact on IndyCar, American open-wheeled racing ever since. So I also think Penske might be more of a purist. Maybe he's going to bring back some more traditions to the sport that have gone away. I don't know. Overall, I'm very optimistic for it. I notice when I stand up tall, I get my head chopped off a little bit. What's up with that? I'm going to have to see if I have my camera adjusted right. Yeah, I sure do. It's just I need to not do that. Who gives a All right, what else is going on in sim racing news? So what I was saying is the point of when was racing invented, auto racing, the second car, humans, we raced on foot, we've raced by horse, by chariot, we've raced, llamas, ostriches, though humans' nature is to race. Penske was one of the peeps who ran kart. And you know what? I have to admit, I was a kart fan, not an IRL fan back in those days. That's just, yeah. We still have horse race. Racing is thank you, Joa. Racing's not going to go away. Maybe the racing and the conventional gas-burning motors that we know will go away, but it will be replaced with electric car racing. Let's just face it, that's what will happen. And we might eventually see other forms of racing. Maybe, maybe we'll see plane racing coming back into favor. Maybe we'll see other forms. Maybe the motorcycle. I think a motorcycle will transition as fast as, this explosion of e-bikes. Pelican, maybe electric is what saves racing. Maybe it's going to take a little neon lights and flashy things and electric cars and quite honestly, cars that could even outperform the petrol counterpart, I dare say. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but racing will go on. It's just a matter of, will NASCAR exist? Will Formula One? And will those companies, and I think they will they be smart enough to transition or fast enough to spend what money they have to buy the series that are having the future success and take them in? Why is there this cash grab at ESport motor racing right now? Because if it is the next genre of racing, they want to own it from the get-go. It makes perfect sense. Formula E is improving. Longer races, longer fuel runs, pit stop scenarios. I kind of liked, I haven't seen, and if anybody's been a Formula E fan, I'd love to know this. There was talk before the season last year, and I didn't follow it at all, forgive me, of like power-up stations, where you have to go off the driving line in order to get a power-up. Did they follow through with that, and how did it play out in the racing? When the batteries can last, or, cool, you know what? Have an option and an ability to do a quick change for the battery during the pit stop. Pit stops can be very exciting. As awesome as the Formula One pit stops have become, 2 seconds or whatever they can friggin' do, because it happens so fast, I think it's actually lost its luster. They've gone beyond the point of what is absorbable by the audience, versus I am still amazed when I watch a NASCAR crew do 4 tires and a wedge and maybe even a tape change to the car in I don't know the time, 15, 16 seconds, 18 seconds. But the speed that those guys can do 5 lug nuts, change a tire, blows my mind. And it's just fast enough that I can watch it happen, and almost a little faster than I can watch it happen, but I can stay with it, versus Formula One, I don't even know who to watch, and then the car's gone. But yes, I think that electric racing can definitely be changed. Fabio Martins, name from the past. Man, I think about you regularly, Fabs. I hope you're doing great. I'd love to catch up with you, by the way. Anyway, I'm glad to see you here at the show. yes, sim racing. So, if we get to a point, let's just say that I think one of the things for sim racing right now that would really help it, I don't know if it's viable to bring all the contestants to the location like they're doing in a few of the premier eSports series. But if you could force the drivers to use a webcam, if you had adequate cheat detection through the webcam, you could even be monitoring certain things. Hey, Izzy, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back to the show. Another name from the past. I haven't seen you around in a little while, Izzy. But yeah, if you could force the webcam, like let's look at the iRacing Peak Antifreeze series, for example. I would like to see, and you want to be a professional. I'm tired of the shy boy routine. You know what? Man up. You can put a webcam on your thing. So I think, and we're still restricted a little bit by bandwidth because not everybody in the world has unlimited bandwidth and can spare it. But I think that racing from home could actually be one of the keys to the future when it comes to the esport thing, and something that can give it a really big advantage because it could happen so much more regularly. You can also allow people to be a little more of their own personalities and also hold their own fate in their own hands by making mistakes online, quite honestly, and winning and losing fanship by attitude. It takes us one step away from those middlemen that we have in racing right now. So you think of like the managers and the team bosses, and sometimes they're not even allowed to get the real opinion of that driver and put a real camera. There's so many restrictions. Maybe these are the kind of advantages that esport has moving forward into the future with the way people are absorbing their content now. Cranky 2-stroke motorbikes smell better than 4-strokes. I completely agree with you. And for many years, wasn't it just straight up that 2-stroke were better than 4-stroke? But is that still 100% true? All right, let's talk about that too. A lot of racetracks close. Some of them close because of complaint by the neighborhood that they live in. Could esport change that? Could the sound of roaring motors, might that affect tracks viabilities? You look at like Laguna Seca, where other than our premier events, they're held to 90 decibels. I think, someone tell me if I'm wrong, I think I can scream at 90 decibels. I don't know what the human voice is yelling, but it could be longevity for certain tracks as well. So, okay, on with the show. How do we get on these distractions, you guys? What are you doing to me? Can't race after 6 in Sweden. Is that because of noise? Yeah. David Payne. David, bring on the pain. Brings on the reality. People complain about anything and everything. They'll find a way to stop it. Yeah, you still have traffic. You still have people you don't want there and blah, blah, blah. Yep, there you go, Tim. All right. Now we definitely hit our full circle, done with that topic point. Assetto Corsa is now posting 5 hours ago talking about Season 5 for their online competitions being open. Steven Dager, how you doing, buddy? And then they have their in-game results, Season 4. So some really... Look at these names. I better put my disclaimer up. I'm going to hold my finger on the button so I don't forget to take it down. But in the Monza 991 GT3 Cup, number 42 Hot Lap, Kevin Siggy Rebernack, one of the biggest names in all of sim racing, taking first place with a 48.090. Amir Hosseini in second, and Samir Ibrahimi in third. In the number 43 number 43 hot stint, Spa-Francorchamps in the Honda NSX. Christian Lazanov, Andre Frank, and Mike Noble. I'm not sure if I know any of those names, but we should know all these. Number 4 hot stint in the Silverstone in the Nissan GTR. Nils Najuks, there's another number 1 sim racer. Andrew O'Hara and Graham Carroll finishing in third. Look at the names, you guys. And here's the only guy I see his name twice, but in number 45 Super Pole at Zolder in the Porsche 991 GT3R, Tom Keller wins with Mike Noble, who finished third in that number 43 hot stint. And Andrew O'Hara, oh, he's a multi-name. He was finished second in the number 44. So, excuse me. Season 5 now open, new events online, and they're numbering them. So 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Aston Martin at Zandvoort. There you go, Billy. Zandvoort. Monza, and then the Porsche. Hungaroring in the Lamborghini. Circuit Paul Ricard in the Honda NSX, and Spa-Francorchamps in the Audi. Yeah, good job to those guys. Congratulations to those guys. And if you want in on it, I mean, again, another competition that anybody can pretty much take part in. Do you expect to be in those top 3? Maybe not, but you can still have a lot of fun doing that. I need to get out and try that a little bit. That would be a good way for me to entertain myself. Roadmap is a little late. Usually they're right on it. RFactor 2, a little late. November 4th, they finally got it out. The roadmap update for October 2019. They're talking about a few different things. Again, their partnerships. Most of this we've covered throughout the show, but starting November 9th, the Le Mans 66, the fight for the endurance crown on the iconic Le Mans circuit isn't over for this year. And as promised previously, we are bringing back the RF 24-hour event for the official rerun. France is calling on the 9th of November for the best of the best to once again take the challenge. And big money to team prizes. So, anyway, how to enter, when it's going on, all that stuff. I'm not sure why they're talking about the trailer, the movie, because it features... Isn't this the Ferrari versus Ford? I'm just missing the wording somewhere. That's Ferrari versus Ford. Whatever. I don't care about the movie. Competitions going on, the GT3 RFactor Cup. But what I really want to get down to is content. That's the stuff they're maybe. I would like to watch the Ford versus Ferrari movie. Disclaimer, I took my finger off. Thank you, Dave Blair. Thank you very much. You always got my back. You guys rock. Anyway, they're talking about the Nissan GT500, and we have some screenshots of that, something that they're working on as well. Thank you, Tim. Yep. Oh, it's okay. It's called Le Mans 66 in Europe versus Ford versus Ferrari in the U.S. release. Thank you, Brad Morrison. You make me feel a little smarter. Yeah, I need to look. I see some of you guys are talking about Hinchcliffe. That's something I need to look into with the whole McLaren. It sounds like he really got kind of screwed over. Hey, James Grooms, this is your first setup? Oh, very cool. Hey, JKD Gamer, how you doing? Anyway, we're looking at some cool shots. Why did we switch to the Porsche? I missed why we... Anyway, Steam Halloween sale, obviously. Is that still going on? How long is that going on for? They're still talking about it. This was just posted on the 4th. Sebring, 30% off, one of the best tracks they've ever made. Endurance Pack, 50% off. GT3 Challengers Pack, 33% off. GT3 Pack, 50% off. So it looks like that's still happening. That's good news. World's Fastest Gamer, we know. Season 2. The UI beta starts new competition. That'd be great. That's going to be great to see. Both the Nürburgring and 911 we'll see further updates. That's why we're seeing some of that kind of stuff. Code changes. Anyway, a lot from RFactor 2 as usual. Stupid movie crap politics. I want to see it just for the eye candy alone. Race Sim Central also talking about the update. Track cutting limit options is something else that might have been in that I did perhaps miss in reading through it. That comes from the Steam version. Hey, SimRacing Source, how you doing? Okay, All right, so a lot going on at RFactor 2. Great news. That's great news. Logitech just letting you know that the EU finals are heading to Cologne this weekend. Watch live as the fastest racers compete in Project Cars game for a spot in the Global Grand Finals in Vegas and a chance to race for McLaren Shadow. So, man, McLaren is just everywhere. McLaren is stretching their legs big time in racing in real life and esport. Look at them go. I told you it was coming. It is now here, so you can now be into the Finnish woodlands you go. They have a gameplay video of the woodlands, and you can buy. This is their season deluxe content pack, which you can buy now, seasons 1 and 2. And again, I question how much do you people have invested in Dirt Rally 2? Available on all 3 platforms. When I look at it on Steam, it's $30 for season 1 and 2. So if you bought the deluxe edition, it included it. That would have been $79.99. The super deluxe edition, seasons 1 and 2, and seasons 3 and 4, $99. And you could buy, if you just bought the base game, you can buy Dirt Rally 2.0 Year 1 Pass seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 for $54.99. So yeah, anyway, but that's an expensive game for I call it a boxed title. Boxes are something going away. We don't really buy games in boxes anymore. So today is the day that we just see the light up on the F1 game eSport. So if I were to remember, we've been watching the countdown. Well, the countdown's 38 minutes at this point. We are 38 minutes, 46 seconds away from the showdown. Event number 3 in F1 2019. That was our screenshot of the day. And what we're seeing here is this looks like the tech team's just double checking the rigs. I see one rig being tested. I see another rig being tested. A couple people testing, but it's definitely not the event just yet because we are 38 minutes. We are 38 minutes, 19 seconds away. Some shots, a shot from the Red Bull team. Here their guys are ready to go. Here's a shot of Toro Rosso, and their driver. Not sure. That would be. That's Patrick Holzman. See, I know my eSport competitors. That's Patrick Holzman right there practicing. And so what's going on now? We have 3 races in event number 3, round 7 Hockenheim, round 8 from Spa, and round 9 from Monza. All 3 events playing out right now in the next episode of that going on in, again, how long? 37 minutes, 35 seconds. And I think that's all we have. Another shot of the guys racing. That's the Williams guys. I saw one of the posts by one of the oh, I know what I had. Check this out. So if we go to McLaren, and they're also talking about it, but there's one post here. Where is it? Okay, so there are the 3 tracks, blah, blah. There's the big thing. Here, there are 2 guys going to the event because they have 3 drivers, as we know. Bono Hui and Enzo Benito showing up for McLaren. But where did I see it? Bear with me. Nope, I missed it. Shoot. Their engineer is going with them as well. So it's not just the 2 drivers. They have somebody else going in the name of being the engineer, watching over them. It's really becoming a different world when you look at it at this level where they still are showing up in person. That is quite remarkable, I have to say. So I'm not rooting for anybody, so to speak. I just hope it keeps showing the world how good sim racing really is. Wayne Williams, don't give co-masters no money. The most lazy game makers in the market. In your words. There was also a video put out, F1 eSport, the making of a champion, episode 3 by New Balance, or sponsored by New Balance. This is posted via the regular Formula 1 channel. So if you want to check it out, you can find it on YouTube. at Formula One. But again, they're all in on this. They're not acting embarrassed. You know, that's the thing. F1 could do all this and then act like it was kind of snub us at the same time. You know, like this piece of this asset they've acquired just in case. But they're really all in. They're pushing it. I thought, can't you remove the halo, I thought? Or you could drive like them. We saw pictures of Bono Hui practicing for the event and was using the over the halo view. Another write-up here at McLaren, round 3 preview heading in. This is where I read about the engineer. Dietrich Kynes, race engineer, is also going with them. The last round was tricky. We caught out by focusing too much on single direction, so this time we're trying more tactical approaches, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it could be very cool. Could be another good event. Should be worth watching. Yeah, they are using CSLs. Look, they're not using podiums for this event. They're using CSLs. We saw the picture of Bono. Can I pull that up again? Did Bono post any of these? We saw that shot. No. We saw the shots of him practicing at home, right? It wasn't this page. Shoot. Anyway, that was, do you remember we were really looking at the shot of Bono preparing for the event, and we were talking about, wow, it's a single screen, it's kind of far, it's kind of high up there, and I keep skipping over it. Whoops. Does that mean it was there and I just need to slow it down? Slow it down, Cole. Slow it down. There it is. Thank you, Billy. So there's Bono preparing for the event. Fanatec CSL base, play seat formula. I believe that's a play seat stand, a single monitor a little bit far away. And there's a PC setup, by the way, over there. I wonder what this one is. That is very resemblant of that. Anyway, that answers our question. That something I always wonder. Are these guys like dialing in their setups at home so that everything they do, there's $500,000 on the line when you think about it. Yeah, roll cage. Here's the competition view. Roll cage. No halo problem here. So, okay. NASCAR Heat, your opinions matter. Complete their survey to enter for a chance to win helmets signed by Kevin Harvick. Survey Gizmo, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to be eligible and you want to, if they're listening, I love when companies reach out and listen. And this almost made my screenshot of the day. November is here, which means November DLC is almost here. Can you guess the theme of this month's DLC? I don't know. Is it unveiling the new Chevy version? I don't know. What are they unveiling in NASCAR Heat? But they are giving away helmets, multiple, signed by Kevin Harvick, NASCAR Heat 4 Gold Edition, NASCAR Racing Experience, $100 NASCAR gift card. What else? WRC. Yeah, so they've got theirs. So who will be crowned the 2019 World Champion of the ESport WRC, powered by HMSG Official? Watch it now on YouTube. This was posted yesterday, so I missed it. Did any of you get a chance? If you want to watch it, it is up. This was live streamed yesterday, and this is the eSport Finals. 86,000 people have watched it. It's an hour long. You'll find that at FIA World Rally Championship on YouTube, and you can watch it. So you got the web. Oh, that's cool. I like the way they. Oh, he's out or finished. You can watch that whole competition. See out. I'm not going to spoiler that. That might make some good entertainment for you guys. We'll wait till they post the finals, and then I'll unveiling the Camaro. See, I was all over it. Death. They're unveiling death. A Supra. I don't know. I heard, who did I hear? Was it Nissan or Honda? Somebody said they'd be willing to do NASCAR. You asked earlier about whether we are going to see any news from SEMA. This is the only news I have. Thrustmaster. Come on down to the Thrustmaster Gaming Pit. They should call it the Thrustmaster Simpit. At SEMA show, SEMA 2009, in the fabulous Las Vegas. We're kicking it at the Hoonigans. Remember, they did last year's booth. And Shifter and Nifter's booths in the South Lot to try our racing simulators and see the Hoonigans do their thing every day at 11 and 3, 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Powered by Forza. Thank you, Theodore. I didn't mention that part. Honda. Thank you, Billy. Yes, it was Honda who said that. Tesla. David. Too funny. I will say this. I will give Toyota credit. Did you guys see the flickering of the lights there? Are we still live? I think the new Toyota Camry, ever since they made the NASCAR version, like with dual exhaust and some extra little inlets, and I think the new Camry is a pretty badass looking car comparing it to Camrys of old. Camry used to be a very vanilla car, and the NASCAR inspired Camry is far from vanilla in my opinion. So, all right, what else? So if you're in Vegas, if you're at SEMA, you will find Thrustmaster gear at the Hoonigan booth and the Nifters booth in the South Lot. The Supra. Yeah, the Supra is more iconic to the racing enthusiast, that's for sure. No, Sim Contender, the Camry for, I don't know if it still is, was the #1 sold car in America for like 10 years or something. It's just that it's been a very vanilla car. Yeah, just boring. Yeah, there was no frills. It came with everything you needed. You know, air conditioning, leather, power, everything. You get it in a V6 with a decent amount of power, but nothing to blow people's minds. They're just kind of generic. I mean, you could have made them a white with a blue stripe and just wrote car on the side for anybody who remembers generic. Does generic labeling even exist? I don't think I've seen a generic label in forever. It'd almost be time to bring it back. If you had a company, you'd almost want to copy that. All right, what else? American Truck Sim Build 1.36 is now available, says Race Department. This is before new map expansion fans get too excited. This new build does not bring with it the much anticipated Utah DLC. So this is a pre-Utah DLC build and update for you truck sim guys. I know we have a lot of you guys out here. What else? I have a few more things to talk about. Wow. What else today? Need for Speed. Oh, just a couple stories on Need for Speed. So, Need for Speed Heat EA Access Trial now available. This is the latest attempt at the franchise that presents a simulation of high adrenaline racing. The Need for Speed Heat EA Access Trial is now available. The date of availability began on November 5th, 2019. The trial grants a full 10 hours to players on Xbox One that want to try out the game. Man, I just lent out my Xbox One compatible wheel. That kind of sucks. Anyway, if you want to try it out, you can. I can't. Also about Need for Speed, this one, that article came to us from GamerHeadquarters.com. Twisted Voxel talking about the Need for Speed Heat file size and day one patch revealed. So, surprise, surprise, the game's going to come out and there's going to be a patch. And so you'll need to download the game, you'll need to download an update to your system, and then you'll need to download the patch before you can play it. Wonder how that impacts the trial, by the way. The RAV4 has taken over, is that right, Brad? I owned a silver Camry. Just and I always no wheel support. Oh, forget it. Then I'm not even gonna do it. If I'm gonna play something that doesn't have wheel support, I'd play a game that I don't want my wheel but has wheel support like Grand Theft Auto. I was kind of thinking about playing some Grand Theft Auto, actually. Datsun Titan is #1 selling pickup truck in Wyoming. What? Isn't it the Nissan Titan, Tim? No guarantees. Okay. We're just speculating on this. So here was I don't know if this doesn't really apply to us, but it applies to things I'm always thinking about. So this was from autoguide.com. The best gifts for men. I'm assuming this is written for wives because I don't really give my man friends gifts. Anyway, how many of these do you have? So as I go through them, I want to know, and that'll help us decide whether these are good men gifts or not. #1, Hot Wheels. You guys have them? Do you want them? Would that be, if you got a Hot Wheels, would you be happy? What if it was vintage? What if it was like a really cool vintage one that you're, I'm telling you this because maybe you want to show this portion of your show to your wife. Because maybe she'd get some good ideas. So any of you guys Hot Wheel collectors, any of you wish you were, oh, thank you, Sim Contender. No, I do not have a man. Lego Champions cars. Anybody have them? Anybody want them? I think this thing was a little heavy on the Lego, by the way. Automotive branded hat. I don't wear hats. That would do me no good. Would that make you happy under your Christmas tree? A Aston Martin Red Bull Racing, a Ferrari Racing hat. Women, take note. Forza Horizon 4 with Lego Speed Champions. All right, that's kind of cool. I'd like to be gifted that because maybe I wouldn't have bought it, but if someone gave it to me, I would be pretty damn happy about that. Dirt Rally 2.0. That's just sort of a generic out of left field pick a game. Automotive branded duffel bag. That I could use. I do a lot of travel. I'd like to have a new set of luggage, and if it was branded, that'd be kind of cool. Make it easy to see when it was going around the turnstile. Mitchie does Legos. I do Legos. Automotive themed book like Go Like Hell. All right. Shoes. We just talked about shoes the other day. Some racing socks. Automotive style watches. You know, I'm trying to get back into watches. I think I miss having a watch. The only reason mine isn't is because mine's an e-watch, so to speak. And it ran out of juice, so it's on the charger. And I have a few watches that need some batteries. I would like to have an automotive themed watch for sure. That would be cool. Die-cast models. How many of you guys collect die-casts? Any of you have anything that's like special? Not just your typical, but something special, and what is it? Speaking of Mitchie, you've got the whole variety of Lego Technic cars. I know we have the Porsche. We've got the Bugatti here. I know there's the Formula One car. I would like any and all of those, by the way. So if anybody's looking to get Shaun a Christmas present, Technic Lego, which are outrageously expensive, by the way, so I'm kind of kidding you. Anyway, just some great Christmas ideas. Maybe these are the kind of things you can ask your wife for, or maybe your mom, or I don't know. But it is a decent write-up on what we men want. This is at Forbes. Awful business or the new gold rush? The most valuable companies in esport are surging. So as we watch, and I'm not going to read the article, I don't care. I'm going to go off the headline, which is really not a good way to go through things in life. I am not setting a very good example right now. But we're still keeping our eye. Will it be a bubble? How long of a bubble? When will it peak? What will that do? Brad Morrison, you collect some Earnhardt cars. Oh, that's cool. I had a handful, but I never had any die casts that I would have considered collectible. I have a bag full of Hot Wheels cars, but it's not enough to do what I want to do. To be honest with you, in fact, maybe this will motivate you guys to send me Hot Wheel cars. Remember I used to have that Simpit logo? I want to make a new Simpit logo out of Hot Wheel cars, but it's going to take like hundreds of Hot Wheel cars to do it. Yeah, so if you guys have old ones collecting dirt that you don't want, hit me up for my address and I'll send it to you. and you can send me them, and we will be that much closer. I probably have about 100, but I predict it's going to take more like 500 to do. The other idea I had was to make a, hey, H1TZZ, thank you for subscribing, doing a shadow box filled with Hot Wheels as the Simpit desk. Just not sure if it would cause too much reflection. It might not show well. Anyway, a couple ideas I have. I love Hot Wheels. What else? Article at NASCAR. Just kind of cool. And this is talking about wide world of eSport. Excuse me. So, Christopher Bell. I always want to call him Christian. I don't know why. Christopher Bell wins at Texas after iRacing. So, the write-up says, Christopher Bell picked up his 8th victory of the Xfinity season just a few days after preparing on iRacing. I suppose it's safe to say he was prepared. So, there are a handful of drivers who are doing this now regularly. A lot of them are guys who've always been part of sim racing, whether it be like an Alex Bowman, whether it be a Christopher Bell, whether it be a Lando Norris or a Max Verstappen. RC cars, yes, Wayne Williams. RC cars belonged on that list, and in my opinion, did drones, but I have a big expensive drone there that I never fly. I don't know if it's still funny. You still have 2,000 Hot Wheels. Steven, make me a big giant SP logo out of your crappy ones and send it to me. Is that too much to ask for? Come on, man. I did a paint job for you. In that article, they also talk about Ray Alfalo. We mentioned this last week. Him returning to victory lane, earning his way towards... Oh, and it's 4-time. We finally have it. Ray Alfalo, 4-time. eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. Took a season off, and he's now trying to race his way back into the into the Peak Antifreeze Series, racing in the Pro Series, and he did pick up a win, but that made NASCAR.com news, which is really awesome. So those are the main points. They're talking about NASCAR Heat DLC, so they're also writing up the what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? The Tesla. You only have Hot Wheels when you drift corners. Dave Flair. Poor Ray. Didn't he take a season off? He took a season off. He didn't get relegated. He just didn't realize the money was going to quadruple. Well, go up so significantly while he was away. Too many restrictions for drones. Yes, but that does bring into play that new mini Mavic, not Mavic, DJI that is underweight. So can't cheat his setups anymore. That's part of racing. What else? Interesting article here. Gaming Life. Esport driver database and new ranking system to be launched by Torque Esports. Torque Esports will launch a new esport driver database that will provide the rapidly expanding esport racing industry with up-to-the-minute data on gamer performances and rankings across all esport racing championships and platforms. Whoa. So now you're going to have a sanctioning body or a picking the ranking body for esport racing that's somehow going to take into account the difference between, or I don't know how they're going to judge that. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. But iRacing versus Codemasters versus, a game you can play with your phone. Anyway, it'll be cool to see. I'd love to be able to report on that ranking and watch that top 10 and look for movers and shakers in the ranking. I hope it's accurate and we all kind of agree with it. But it says part of their drive to professionalize esport racing. Torque Esport will take its recent acquisition of DriverDB, I'm assuming that's database.com, which provides precise results and rankings for real-world motorsport, and extend the same platform and expertise into the world of esport. So anyway, from launch driverdb.com/esport will become the reference for anyone interested in racing esport to find results, driver rankings, and much needed structure to the burgeoning virtual sport. I wonder how low, anybody familiar with driver database? Anybody know how far deep, how many out the rankings go? Is it 20? Is it 100? Is it 200? Is it 500? Is it all of racing? I don't know. Am I ranked on there for running a couple of Lemons races? I'm kidding on that one, by the way. Anyway, that could be very, very cool. Too much room for going over. Like, you're so at the limit that, like, a bug splat could take you over the limit and you'd be breaking the law. Breaking the law. Breaking the law. We don't talk about MotoGP eSport very much, but I have to give them credit. I look back at the past MotoGP eSport Championship editions. So, just write up on the past as they're continuing forward on their... I think what they're playing that with the controller. So it's just hard for me to really consider that. Just like it's really hard for me to consider Need for Speed Heat as much of anything. I mean, come on. Even Wreckfest has great wheel support. Lionheart Racing Series going on tonight. Their season's actually getting to the end. This is one of the longest, most intense racing seasons you're going to do. I know David Clymer of a pit crew, he races in it. John Hill of the pit crew races in it, and a handful of others, I believe. But tonight, if you want to watch it on GSRC Global Sim Racing Channel, i.e. the iRacing eSport Network, that will be tonight at 9:35 Central Time. I believe that's like 8:30 my time, 8:30 Pacific. I'm not 7:30 Pacific. I think that's 7:30. So that'll be good. And if you want to root for our guys, just go check that out and root for Clymer and Hill. Thank you, Spatial. Yes. What else? Eye candy. Look at these. You guys, the other day, I haven't sent the email yet, but I'm going to do my best to get a hold of Raceworks and try out their pedal set and a few other things. They have a lot of really cool things, but this is at Sim Racing Hardware News and Reviews blog. Pictures and a write-up on the S1 hydraulic pedal system from Raceworks. A pedal board made to look cool on your rig, and I will say, those look very cool. Those arms look a lot like the HPP arms. I thought those were very specific to his design. They're not the same, but boy, does this triangle aluminum look similar. Anyway, okay, very cool. What else? This, I don't even know what the heck this is, but look at this thing. This is also at Sim Racing Hardware News and Reviews blog. An ARB shifter and brake bias combo for Jinx shifters. I'm confused. No, I believe this is different knobs for actually being able to adjust your front and rear bias. That seems quite a bit of overkill for sim racing. I'm just saying, can we see it in action? No, that's one reason I don't like the posts from them. It's usually just sort of like cut and paste stuff that we can't really access. Is it because I'm not... Fine, use my cookies? No, I just let them use my cookies and it's still screwing me. Anyway, you can check that out. This just kind of made me laugh. Norm! Thank you, Devin. Tim, I got this, but I didn't get your other one. The email came in too late. I got the one off of Discord, but just in case, can you guys do it? He's already done it, so Finland is now available for Dirt Rally 2. Tim Spatial Dragon has already accomplished the Flying Finn Award, getting airborne 100 times in Finland specific, and the Finesse. Roll your car and continue in Finland. So good job, Tim, getting some of those awards in the latest season of Dirt Rally 2.0. And now let's check out some rigs. We got rigs. Yeah, there's a Deathmobile. Look at that. That's even a minimalistic when it comes to Deathmobiles if you look at it. But I saw Tim mentioned earlier, junkyard seat for the win. There you go. Junkyard seat. A little bit of... He's got Logitech wheel with a Fanatic pedals. 2-pedal CSL Fanatic setup. And yeah, that is one minimalistic but well done Deathmobile. You got to love it. In addition to that, here's another Deathmobile. Look at all the Deathmobiles out there. I love it. I mean, it's such an obvious design, but I just love that there have been so many Deathmobiles. I like to think that in some way, shape, or form, we all had an effect on that. But there's another Deathmobile. I didn't give names, did I? I'm being so mean. So the first one here was actually uploaded by, and these are on Reddit. This is posted by Lorenzo, And this one was posted by Black Unite 1. And nice job there. And then this one is actually, who posted this? This is at Race Department. There's a whole selection of posts on rigs at Race Department. Oh, look at that. That's an old Lotus. Europa? Isn't that what that flatbed Lotus was? Some nice looking rigs with and without lighting. Look at that thing. That's crazy. That's got a motion contraption underneath it. Anyway, a lot of rigs posted over there as well, and I do have one more rig to show you real quick. And again, this comes from John Zachary, who sent in his rig. So this is one of us. This was sent to me via email, and I appreciate that so much because it means it's one of you. It's one of the pit crew, and I want to make you the star of the show. So to me, that's even more important than the other rigs that we might see or find. And this is a great looking setup there. You can see he's got himself... Hey, wait. Where is... I thought you told me you had V3 Fanatic pedals. Did I pull up the wrong picture? Bear with me, everybody. I've got to do a little check it before you wreck it here. That was today's picture. What's this one? Yeah, that was today's picture. I think this has been upgraded since to an Accuforce wheel and V3 Fanatic pedals. So anyway, I encourage you guys, hopefully I'll get things straight and right and make a correction if I screwed that one up on Friday's show. Sorry if I did, John. What else do we have going on? Want to just give you a couple reminders. If you're looking for some Assetto Corsa racing in a league type environment, then you're going to want to go to SimRacing System. That's the bottom line. And if you want to race with some of our pit crew members, Shaun Seabrand of Pro Sim Racing, he's a regular here on the show and races with us, good friend of the Simpit. He is our co-host of the Simpit Pro Sim Racing Assetto Corsa series, and this time in the RSS GT. It is paid content, but it's some of that premium content. So if you own it or you're willing to get it, you'll be able to start things off tomorrow night at Mosport, followed by Silverstone, Nürburgring, Watkins Glen, Centoul Circuit, and Circuit Le Mans 24, racing Thursday nights at SimRacing Systems in Assetto Corsa. Tomorrow is the first race of the 6-week season, so that's a good opportunity to get involved in that. And if you're looking for some good racing in Assetto Corsa and race room in general, you'll find that at SimRacing System. A lot of league environment type racing. Gotta love it. And then lastly, just going to keep promoting and giving credit where credit is due. So we have our points update from our last race in the Simpit Skippy Series. We are actually at Oran Park, and I'll bring up the results real quick here. And it was David Grunnell who won the race. And David Clymer just doing some epic moves at some very important moments. Manages to get himself into second place. George Sandman finishing in third. I finished in fourth, and Terry Crouch finishing in fifth. And I did update the points. So anybody who is part of that series, the points have been updated. I'm sorry we don't have better results. That's sort of a mix-up between iRacing Point. I think for next season we'll get things right, though. But David Grunnell leading the way, 150 points with 3 wins. George Sandman in second. Mark Michkowski in third as we head to Road America, which should be a much more straightforward race. I will say Phoenix and Oran Park were very difficult tracks. And I'm not saying that Road America is easy, but in a group, in a pack, on cold tires in the Skippy, I think Road America should result in a better race. We're going to have a 15-lap race Friday night. Still time to join. I just let another 2 guys into the racing series today. All you have to do is search for us, Simpit Skippy Series, under the hosted, or league section, I should say, on iRacing, and you can join us for Friday night's race. 5 o'clock practice begins, 6 o'clock qualifying, 6:13 is the race start usually, and that will be here, all Pacific times here on the Simpit as well. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's show. We are just waiting on a motor mount so we can get back to work on our SimuCube Pro wheel. Very, very much looking forward to that. We have a Ricmotech wheel to mount to the base. We're just waiting on a mount so we can mount that to our rig, and we'll be up and running. And I'm working on the Next Level Racing Challenger review and a few other things as well. I have a couple side stories that I want to catch you up. I filmed everything from when I ran the Lotus at Laguna, and I wanted to do a little recap on what that was like and what it cost and all those kind of things. And then I have one other story I want to share with you guys as well that we'll be doing a show on. So, like I said, lots going on behind the scenes, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't get that mount so I can get back to business. And then, of course, tonight I'm going to probably do a little more practice in the Skippy, getting prepared for Road America this Friday night, because the guys are all stepping it up. You wouldn't believe how fast some of the guys are getting. It's getting very serious and really great competition. I had like a 25-minute race with David Clymer last week where we were just nose to tail with me leading or him leading for about 25 minutes. It was intense. It was awesome. Ryan, no, I'm not going to SEMA this year, unfortunately. So we'll just have to see what kind of things get posted, what kind of sim racing news comes from SEMA, and we'll definitely tune in. If you ever see stories that you think we should cover at the Simpit, don't be shy. Email me, Shaun, SHAUN, at thesimpit.com, and I'd love to feature that on the show. If you ever have shots of your rig or your results in any kind of competition, send it in so I can make you the star of the next show. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track. Thank you, Daniel D, for your sub.